explained that they have something to do with the people, these people who become the Yamanutas. So maybe there is some kind of connection that afterwards they may go back to the people of God. I don't know. It seems that at least they don't fall down to hell.
Interesting. Okay.
I remember hearing that it's before you become a Yamanuta, you have this kind of inclination.
Mm-hmm.
Might even be a pious person, but you have this inclination to hurt others.
Oh, okay.
So one can imagine, because they're serving Mahatma,
Yeah.
so they will definitely make progress.
Yeah.
But maybe they need to get rid of that tendency before they go to the heavenly planet, so even difficult.
Good point. Yeah, both very good point. So usually when they have a lot of devotion, they can go to some planet like Pitriloka and enjoy there for some time. And if they don't give up that inclination of harming others, and who knows what their next destiny will be. But usually they should, by using it in the service of Mahajana and the pious. At one point it's expected they will think, oh, what am I doing here? It's not so enjoyable, it's screaming all the time. So I am not of this. And maybe if I find pleasure in giving pain, now I understand the laws of nature better, it could happen to me also. So then at one point those who are fortunate, at least we see that from the messenger, as far as I know, I remember the servants of Shiva, some of them came to that point, and they were also asking, we are doing all these things here, ghostly things and stuff, taking care of the ghostly worshippers and the demons who worship you. And now we have a suspicion that there must be something else because you are so absorbed in something and you find some pleasure somewhere. Maybe you can enlighten us about this, and then they will be open to actually receive spiritual knowledge about devotion and service. And some of the more confidential and more advanced servants of Lord Shiva, they have meetings with Lord Shiva regularly about pure devotional service, and they discuss it. And they also started to have doubts when it came to the story of Shiva and Daksha and some other stories, why all these things are happening and why Shiva doesn't get so much containment when there's so much quarrel and all these different parties. So they wonder, is there another level? And then he instructs them about the nature of pure devotional service. So it's to be expected, as we see here in the next cycle, that some of them are very fortunate and they actually get a glimpse of the sublime position of devotees in this world. And then they understand, oh, Yamaraj is the pure devotee. He's not just our boss. He's not just a leader of the motorbike gang, of the human Buddhas, of the heavy guys, but he's much more exalted than that, and we can get some more spiritual knowledge. So again, there are three main destinations: heavenly, hellish, and spiritual. So that's what I understand from here, from that first. But usually the inclination is more, as I said, in this world, as this Pitri, very pious people on heavenly planets. What exactly Pitris are, I asked myself. I haven't totally understood, I must admit. It's probably very interesting subject, maybe some more knowledge on that. I found it very fascinating. In some countries in this world, they worship the ancestors and things, in Japan and China and stuff. And they become very pious by that. And they got a lot of respect for superiors and things. So if you're a heavy guy, you must first learn to follow your superiors. That's what happened to the Muslims. And, they just understood Muhammad is there's the word of God, and we just do that no matter what. Very simple for them, just this. But then some Muslims, they were also making more progress when we were there, and more read for everyone. Because usually they don't understand personal aspect, of course, more impersonal. It's almost like Shiva worship also. Material benefits, things. They get all this oil and stuff, and then they get entangled. Because of the oils, they problem and become violent. So they get entangled again. But some of them also I've met, they understand that God can also be a person. That Muhammad was transferred in his meditation to the throne of God, as mentioned several in the scriptures. And God was embracing him, and he has a face, and he's standing on the throne. And so there is something more also. Also they have names like 99 names of Allah. Actually they have 100, but the 100th is not known, they say. So I tell them maybe it's Krishna. You don't know. Maybe it's Krishna. It was spoken into the ear of the camel by the prophet, they say. So maybe he thought they are not ready for that yet. These other 99 names, very powerful names, Allah, names like Ishwar, control. So Prabhupada also mentioned that our whole philosophy can be summarized in 5 words. Krishna is the supreme controller. That is the first thing to understand. That's very deep for us, but and then there's so much more understanding of the beautiful aspect, loving aspect of God. Surya is Krishna, Ishvara, Parama, Krishna. So, any other question? Yes. At first, sorry, I think he was first. Take a deep breath. Yeah, one of them. And it's so nice that you're all eager.
There seems to be some kind of a contradiction in this regard, that the Yamadutas, they are saying that they thought that Yamaraja was the supreme. But in the beginning of Yamadutas speaking, discussing with Vishnudutas in chapter 1, they are starting their argument by saying that that which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes dharma, the religious principles, and the opposite of that is the religion. The Vedas are directly the supreme personality of Godhead, Narayana, and are self-born. This we have heard from Yamaraj. So they're saying they know that Narayana is there, and further on they are explaining in the next sentence, the supreme cause of all causes, Narayana, is situated in his own abode in the spiritual world, but nevertheless he controls the entire cosmic manifestation. And so on. They're explaining that Narayana is the supreme controller, but then still they are asking in the 3rd chapter. They are asking. They thought that Yamaraj was the supreme controller.
Yeah. The possible answer is that, because I haven't read it or something, the possible answer is that, just like the Muslims, for them, God doesn't have any personal aspect directly for most of the Muslims. But they see the Quran, the Holy Book, as the manifestation of God. That is for them God. And the rules that are there. That's why they have rules and things. So the same with the Yamaraj Buddhists. They speak of Narayana as supreme controller, but it seems like for them it's the Vedas, the laws governing this world. And so it's like sub-religious understanding. You just understand that. But they haven't really understood that Narayana is the person in itself. And how, just like we hear God is great, we Muslims say Allahu Akbar. But then how great he is, we have no idea. That is in Krishna consciousness very much described. How great he is. And what means the person, even for us, sometimes in the beginning, very hard to understand. I found it difficult to understand. What's the person? So that may be the problem. Yeah. We go in the order. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking that this condition of life, it seems very hellish to be a Yamaduta, also to be a Muslim. It's like it's so heavy duty. It's heavy duty.
Yes.
But then again, we can see when they accept some kind of authority and they act in a very simple and uncomplicated manner.
Yes.
And what is hellish life, you can ask? Because here in this part of the world, everything is not being, no one is accepting authority. And I think that's much more hellish life than because the mind becomes,
Yes. Therefore, force is used when these societies which are not based on spiritual principles we're having now, materialistic society, not violent society. We must enforce the laws. But that's not really possible 100%, just by force to govern these things. In Vedic times, actually people had understood why I follow these laws, and it's much easier to control. So yeah, there are many different tastes and many different people. And that's what he wanted to say. We have an underlying question.
I don't know, it's a deep subject.
Deep subject, yeah, it's a big subject. We can discuss again later on. But certainly those who are heavy guys, like Kesa River, they are heavy guys, there are other guys, more sattvic, more rajasic, more tamasic. For everyone there's a process of gradual development. Just like I went to one interreligious conference, sometimes I like to go and attend for preaching and content. And I was run by the Protestant church, and they were kind of cynical to some extent. Also, even the Protestants in North Germany, they don't really believe in God. They think it's just mythology. It's a symbol for something that's life or whatever. And I think, yeah, in the old times they had to explain because they were not as advanced as we have knowledge, but we really know. And I was shocked. But then there was one rabbi from one synagogue in North Germany, young rabbi, and he didn't know we're there, Hare Krishna, so much. I don't think so. But he explained, at one point I was surprised, he gave a short explanation on his principles. And then he said, we have all these rules governing our eating animals. We cannot eat them like this, we cannot eat them like that, we cannot eat them like that. And then he said, I asked myself, why all these rules are there, so many rules, when we eat meat. And I came to the conclusion, ultimately they are meant to make us vegetarians. I thought, this is an intelligent guy, he found it out, So you find intelligent people in all groups of people sometimes, it's surprising. And that's the underlying idea. So thank you for contributing your understanding of it. That's correct understanding. Yes?
I was just wondering, out of curiosity, what are the means of preaching in the Middle East?
The means of preaching in the Middle East? Our main thing is to stay out of trouble, try to get out of life. Nowadays, you have to be a little careful. In those days it was also crazy, but they wouldn't immediately kill you, first find out what you want. Now you never know what's happening, so it's a little more difficult. But mainly we distribute books. And we have underground preaching going on, making personal contact. Yeah, in the past we distributed them everywhere from office to office, but we were constantly arrested and kidnapped and blindfolded and almost executed and stuff like that. So later we found there must be other ways, and so sometimes we visit people and get invited, show them how to chant. But I haven't been there for some time. I think, as far as I have seen, they developed quite sophisticated methods. I heard in Turkey it's a little easier. But in some countries it's difficult. Because there's a death sentence in some countries if you convert a Muslim to another religion. It's the heaviest of they end this friendship bracelet. It's just nice to them, and sometimes we go to the mosque also and pray there. No problem for us. Or we chant the names of Allah. There are many ways. You have to see each country is a little different also.
I met some devotees from, they were actually Indians, but they were living, I don't remember which country it was now,
Right.
but they were developing Bhakti Riksha.
Yeah.
So they have these underground groups, then they invite friends to come, and then they cultivate people like that. They cannot do it openly there, like Varnams and book distribution, but they make close Bhakti Riksha, and it's a huge success. There was like many thousands of devotees like that.
And countries like Dubai, which are quite liberal, but also they keep their traditions. And the Indians are allowed to meet each other, but they don't want to see that we preach to the Arabs. So we have a big network of Indian devotees, thousands and thousands, in Dubai, in these Gulf countries. And Saudi Arabia is a different story. It's a holy country. We have to be more careful. And they have very strict rules. If anyone drinks alcohol there, he gets lashed with a stick on his feet, 30 times. Even Westerners, they don't care. It's pretty nice actually.
Right.
We should have sent all these Westerners over there to get some preliminary training. You feel very safe. Nobody steals anything. They chop off your hand and do it. And if any woman goes with another man, they chop off their head also. It's a little too. It's not really. A woman should never be killed. But there was the daughter of one king there in Saudi Arabia, and they showed it on television. She was going with some other guy, and they chopped off her head on television. These guys are very, heavy guys.
Brahmachari ki jai.
Yeah. Brahmachari. So, but to enforce it, and then they go to other countries and they drink beer. They do all these things. So, better to actually, our means of elevation to Lord Chaitanya's is that we try to help them to help themselves by understanding. So we are an educational institution. We give a complete picture of knowledge. For those who want, for the simple guys, they just have to follow the others. But we try to meet the leaders in these countries, because we also preach to Arabs. And the leading mullahs and priests, and try to actually convince them. And there's one religion also, they are not Muslims, they're called the Druze people, you heard of, maybe you read some. They're very nice, almost have the same philosophy as that. Just not as, actually when they found Bhagavad Gita, they understood, that it's much clearer, that actually explains it, very mysterious religion. But it's an offshoot of Islam originally, and then it became its own religion. So there are many mysteries, there are many different types. It's not just Islam, but 700 different types of Islam. Some people believe in reincarnation. The Alawites believe in reincarnation. The Druze follow our principles. They don't eat, they don't even smoke, they don't drink coffee and tea. They're very much like us. What's that?
Is Sufism also part of that tradition?
Yeah, but Prabhupada wasn't too fond of Sufism because they really was everything very much. They mixed everything together with Indian philosophies, Islam. And Prabhupada encouraged them to follow their orthodox Islam and find out the roots of them, and then automatically find a bigger picture. But Sufis also mostly, they are very open. They read Bhagavad Gita, they read other things. They are like the New Age movement of the Muslims. They mix many things. They speculate a little bit. But they are always very nice to us. They appreciate us. They even have Mridanga stuff that sometimes they use. They do some kind of kirtan. Yeah, it's very fascinating. Among Sufis, again, so many different groups. They have a tendency to split up in many different groups and many groups. But there are ways. Each country has different methods is used. But Lord Chaitanya's mercy is spreading everywhere. We are mainly distributing the Bhagavad Gita, so we found ways to distribute. Some of them reveal, some of them we don't talk about. So, Srila Prabhupada teaches us.
Yeah.